Hello Internet, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 series. In the last episode, we went to war with Jamtland, took some of their land, and we no longer have a truce with Trandalog over here, so I think we try to take the remaining portion of their country today. Alternatively, I'm looking at down here, Shaland and some of these other places. I think we have a truce with Vastergotland because we were at war with them. No, we were attacking them. Jilland was attacking them. So Jilland would have a truce. We wouldn't, right? Of Jamtland. Okay. So I was thinking maybe we could turn our attention down here. I would like to continue gathering the land here, but Sweden is still an issue for us. Sweden is very powerful due to the series of alliances that they have. Our best bet, I think, for taking it to Sweden is, so we're going to go through succession in the near future. We're 59. So in the next like 10 years, we're probably going to die. We can live longer than that. You know, I've had characters that live into their 70s, but most likely we will die in the next like 10 years. And we want to die and get our succession sorted out that way, because they're a little younger than us. That way, when Sweden goes through succession in like 20 years, when that happens, they will lose a lot of these alliance basically as soon as succession fires. A lot of the vassals will not like him because it will be a new ruler. They might fracture the realm a little bit. And we could potentially swoop in on Sweden if they're in a weak military position and take some of their land while they're dealing with succession, is my current thought process. I don't know. In like EU4, you could support rebels and things like that. I don't know how to support factions against this guy. Hostile. It's only a murder scheme, huh? How do I scheme? No hostile. Start one by interacting with another character. Yeah, the only scheme we have is to murder him. So I guess we don't have the ability to support factions against him. I don't know why. I guess that's just like a vassal thing. Maybe if we make his vassals like us, we could get them to turn against their liege. I don't really know how that works. And I'm not sure I would be able to do it properly. They're just not that strong on their own. It's these massive alliances that they have. They have twice their number of men from alliances. Now, we can take care of some of that. We're going to go to war with Trandalog. They're in an alliance with Sweden and one of Sweden's vassals, but they're very small, so we should be able to swoop in, siege both of these before Sweden could react and come bother us and get a 100% war score, provided that they don't, capture us in a raid. I still don't like that mechanic. Like I said, I know it's worked out in our favor where we've captured enemy leaders. I just don't really like that, in one siege you can basically end a war. I don't really love that mechanic. So I think we're going to go to war with Trandalog. Sweden, I just want... You just have so many children. And so many people you married. And I hate it because it means I can't take action against Sweden. Currently, we're significantly more militarily powerful than Sweden. The problem is there are so many other small armies that are going to come. So if we go to war with Sweden, they're currently in an offensive war with Dorset, which again is somewhere here. I don't really, right here. And then they're attacking Italy as well, but it's them attacking Italy over Sheikhdom of Lagodoro all the way down here. So stupid. So they're in a war, which means their men will deplete, but like if they get a defensive call to arms, all of these alliances are going to come to their aid, including Jilland, which is a pretty powerful ally of ours, and I would rather not deplete all their men. And we discussed this before, Sweden is just so big, so that if we went to war with Sweden, it's going to be a long war because we're going to have to siege down a lot of provinces. We're really going to have to manage our armies. And the whole time we're doing that, all of his alliances are going to come try to raid our homeland, and it's just too much. I'm just not in a position to do that. No. Sweden, it's too soon. Maybe when succession fires, but I think that our ultimate goal should just be to expand and ignore Sweden as much as possible. They will either begin to fracture or they'll become much more powerful or whatever. And I don't know, maybe long term, maybe we do ally Sweden or something like that. I would really like to take them down a peg, but they are also a buffer between us and like Finland and getting into the Russian area. So, you know, some of these nations are also going to become pretty powerful. Not you, apparently. Novgorod is a big one that often blobs out. Khazaria, huh? I don't even know. You don't have very many men. What religion are you? Khabarite. It's a Jewish faith. Okay. So I think we're just going to keep focusing, you know, stay in your lane, right? Instead of trying to be the most powerful, we already are probably the most powerful nation in the area. Like, we surpass Sweden in terms of military might, Jylland in military might. The only issue we have is alliances, but we are allied with Jylland, so even though we don't have many alliances, we have one pretty powerful ally. So as long as that guy doesn't get his butt handed to him and starts fracturing apart, because that already happened a little bit with Västergotland, I imagine they're going to go to war again in the future, which is perfectly fine. We wouldn't hate going back to war with Västergotland. In fact, now that I'm looking at you, you don't have any alliances. You do. Slesvig, I don't know where that is. Skane is pretty weak. We sieged them previously as well. Shaland is strong-ish, but they're also allied with... oh, you're allied with the vassal. I thought you were allied with Sweden. And you have a truce with some guy from Schleswig. I don't know where that is. I think, is that the one that's in Jylland? It is. So this guy was at war with Shaland and with, he's allied with someone. He's allied with Småland. Västergotland's looking not super strong here. This is their only holdings. They previously held Brittany, but lost that in a war. So they are pretty weak, and we could go to war with them without worrying too much. But I'm guessing Sweden probably has claims on some of this stuff because I believe it used to be part of Sweden. How would I see... I mean, there would be a... How would I see a list of people who have claims on this? I would like to see... Yes, the chiefdom. Is there a way to see claimants 5? Skara, Skane, and some children. What we want to avoid is Sweden having claims on our land, because that will put friction between us and make him more likely to come to war with us. Currently, he just doesn't like us because we're athletic and we stink a little bit. What are you going to do? We're also a coward, which is not great. You've lived a long time. I mean, cowardice is obviously working for you. Anyway, this has been boring, so let's get into a fight here. Trandalog, yep. Let's set our rally point. These are impassable, right? We could come in through here. I think it's better to go through Sagen. Move rally point here. Split our men in two. Take both of these immediately. Not give them... They'll get here, but we hopefully can get to their land first. We could even leave... send some men back home to protect. How many men do you have? 500. Is that even enough to siege my capital? I don't think it is. It's not. So really it would just take Sweden time to come over here. So I think we're fine. Rally point set. Declare war. Oh, you don't like me. Why don't you like me? Attempted to murder me. Yeah, that was that 95%. That was that 95% thing that I got pretty angry about. Yeah, we're going to take the remainder of your country here. Your alliance strength is inferior to us alone. We have plenty of piety. Declare war. Make sure the game is paused. I unpaused by accident. Raise our men. Wait for them to fill up. What speed are we on? We're on 3. Wait for our men to accumulate. Okay. Split our army. Select one. You're heading up here. Select the other. No, select the other. You're heading here. Should be perfectly fine. Bergslag, no, I want to read these things. Yes, King Bjorn joined the war, I'm not surprised. And then Bergslagen, which is one of his vassals. Oh, you're very big, Bergslagen. Why is... Did Sweden just fracture? Jarldom. No, it's all still his land, so why is it displaying as Bergslagen? I don't get why it does that. Like, our realm also is, like, brown now, and I don't really understand. That's because our vassals are at war, I think, but, like, I don't really understand why it's showing it a different color when it's still part of my realm. Unless it's passed out of my hands, which I don't understand. Who is this war between? Chieftain Bjorn the Foolish of Hordfaliki, which is here, against the tyranny of Jarl Scully. Why? What? Why are you here? Your son, vassal, and champion of Vestland. That's here. So you two are at war? That's Vestfold. Isn't Vestland the... This used to be Vestland. I don't understand who they're fighting, but it doesn't matter. There's a small army here, but they're not going to be able to do anything to us. In fact, they're shattered. I'm not sure what's going on there. We have, I don't really know what that... Oh, this is Vestland. My mistake. I thought this was Vestland. Yeah, I still have a hard time understanding basically everything about Crusader Kings. I know that I'm probably an idiot. I'm sure it's something that should be probably pretty obvious, but I really have a hard time understanding whose armies are whose. I don't understand a lot of the systems in the game. There's a hostile army up here. I don't understand. Oland, why are you hostile to me? Doesn't matter, we're getting siege progress. Ignore all this stuff. You're not hostile to me. And it's so dumb to me. Here we have a hostile enemy army, which is color coded as red, and then here we have one that is color coded like in a red brown. Why would you pick such similar colors to be representative? Like, couldn't you make the neutral army like just gray or something, like a completely different? Like, these are not differentiated enough for me to tell at a glance which ones are hostile and which ones aren't. And maybe that's like, maybe I'm colorblind or something. How are you sieging? You don't have enough men. 510 men. 480 men. We had like 500 plus men in our garrison. How did you start the siege? Like, it makes sense that you can lose men in your garrison through events and stuff, but how did you even start when you never had enough men to pass the initial number? Does just sitting on the province cut supplies or something like that? Regardless, we have much more siege progress than they do, and we should be perfectly fine. As long as they don't capture us personally. Chieftain Nut. Well, that is an unfortunate name. Captured his grandson. You probably want him back, don't you? Yeah, you love your grandson. Good for you. That's a good Norse. A Satru man has an important take on family and ancestry. Complete our second siege here in a moment. Anyone else getting sieged? We took the foe hostage. That's not actually going to matter. We still have 100% war score as a result of holdings. So what we could do is ransom him because he'll probably pay a lot for himself. And he's about to become landless. So as long as this siege doesn't finish before the reply. There, he left my prison. We got 100 gold out of it. Did we get anyone else? Nope. And we will end the war, enforce our demands. Great. So be it. Very quick war, nice and easy. Go ahead and disband our men. We are over our domain limit, of course, so we will disperse this land. We have a lot of gold, so we might want to usurp some titles. I think we're missing 2 titles. Low county, I don't care. Nothing else of relevancy here. We're not still at war with anyone. We've grown our our actual like size of our lettering, which is important. Of course, you have to have the biggest nation name on the map. Okay, so let's have a look here. We took Furdafilki and Moray, and they are part of the Duchy of Trandalog, which we don't own enough of. Oh, yes, we do. We own 2/3 of it, right? Yes? No. Is that a separate province? No, okay. So we own 2/3 of it, so we can usurp the title here and pass that to one of our children. Okay. Our sons are getting pretty powerful, by the way. Like, I know vassal management is a thing. I just don't really know how to do it. So I'm sure we might be setting ourselves up for like 30 years from now when all of our sons, like when we die, our son inherits. All of our sons will hate each other because they all want the titles, and could end in some civil war stuff. But for now, it seems okay. Duchy of Trandalog is currently not yet created, so we will go ahead and create that. Gain a bunch of prestige. Excellent. And we have too many duchies now. We want to pass this off to Scully, who is the son that is currently at war because of his tyranny. But I don't know, is he actually tyrannical? Wants a seat on the council, personal diplomacy. Would it even tell me if he was being tyrannical? I don't know. He is pretty powerful already. He holds the Jarldom of Vestland. Don't I have a son who's not a Jarl yet? Heir to Opland. Torsen. He's a chieftain, so why isn't he first? Everyone else has a Jarldom already. You're a chieftain too. How many duchies do I... Do I have like 4 duchies? I thought I gave him this duchy. Who has Jamtland? Some other guy. No, I want this. Can't usurp it. Someone can't usurp the primary title of someone fighting a war. Jarl Otter of Jamtland. You're at war currently? He is at war. Oh. This whole thing is a vassal, I guess? Because it shows, yeah, Sheltie here versus Trandheim. I'm a little confused, but you're at war with some guy, some sheikh, Sultan, my mistake, and Namdalfiki, so this guy. So we can't take that title. I would like to give this to my son who's not a Jarl instead of making my other son more powerful. So I could give it to my heir, who is also a chieftain at the moment. And it goes to my grandchildren. Why is my other son not eligible for this? Like, this son and my other son are still chieftains. This guy is already a Jarl. Why would he get it first? Like, I thought it was supposed to spread your titles evenly among your children. It makes sense it wouldn't go to Kjotve, possibly, because he's our heir and he's already getting the big kingdom title. But why isn't it going to my other son? And I can't give it to anyone. Why can't I give it? And we don't want to give it to our main son because he would become like 2/3 of a kingdom, and he could possibly take power for himself a little bit more and declare himself a king and then take independence, taking all of this with him. What all duchies do I hold? We're Kingdom of Agder, Jarldom of Agder, which is this, which we're not going to give up because it's like our most developed area. Jarldom of Opland, which we could give to someone. Jarldom of Trandalog, and then chieftains. So we could give Opland to one of our sons. Heir to... This guy is still a chiefdom. A chief. We could give it to him. That would get rid of our over the duchy limit. Chieftain Adar. Yeah. Go ahead and give it to my son. Earldom of Opland. And I would like to have kept some of this because it was previously like the capital of someone else, but we're going to just give him everything that's contained within it. That way I don't have to worry about him not liking me because I hold some of his land. We could just keep it because he's going to like us so much after giving him so many things, but I just would rather give it all to him and not have that friction in the future. Or we could hold on to some of this stuff. Just give it to him. We did lose some levies and I'm sure some taxes and stuff. But whatever. I don't want to give too much power to one child and have them grow too powerful. That's like a big fear of mine, is that, like, because I played Crusader Kings 2 a bit, and like I took over Ireland and unified Ireland at one point, and then I had a vassal who had like 2 duchies, and then he took over part of England and declared himself the King of England, and half of Ireland, half of my kingdom, just went away. It just went to him. And I was very frustrated by that, and I want to avoid doing that in the future because we're getting pretty big. We have a fair number of vassals. We could start just handing land to random people in our court, but I would rather keep it in the family if possible. I don't even know if that's the right strategy. Maybe it is better to give it to random people. I'm afraid to make our sons too powerful, but I don't know any way. I don't know how you manage giving away titles in such a big realm, because things are always they're going to seek to be more powerful. Like even in our domain, we've already seen people going at war with each other to consolidate their own power. So at some point, what if that guy takes over 3 kingdoms or 3 duchies and is like, you know what, I'm a king now, and then half of my realm is gone over something I had no control over because he was just warring with himself, with my other vassals, and I couldn't stop it, So I don't really know how you manage this. And then I think there's a vassal limit you can have as well. So like just handing it to random people isn't actually going to work. Anyway, we've been doing a lot of warring. We have a lot of prestige and stuff. Why don't we build something new? Are you still building something? You are. Ot runes. We could build you something, I guess. Gathering halls, levies, control prestige, or taxes. We're actually not doing bad from a tax perspective, given that we are Norse, so that's not terrible. You start the game with much, like, a fourth of this, basically. Less than a gold, I think, is when we started. We could just build more markets. They are long-term investments. Oh yeah, in one of the last episodes, I was trying to do math to figure out how much it would take to pay for itself, how many months it would take, and I did the math completely wrong. I'm sure we're going to get some funny comments about that. I still haven't put very many up on YouTube, so I still am not seeing your comments for the most part, so apologies for that. Go ahead and build a market. Get that going. And I'm hesitant to like build up other areas because so much is going to be passing from our own heir at some point. In fact, what does my heir currently hold of Morarna? Is that all you have? Morarna, Helgum, and Herr Jadela. Yeah, right here is what he controls. But you're not the Jarl, because we haven't taken the title from this guy yet. Okay, I could develop some of his land, knowing that we're going to get it when we die. Implicit claims. He has claims on, like, everything. I don't really want to develop those, though. What else is under my direct control? Telemark is, right? Yeah. Could build stuff there, I suppose. But we're going to lose this as well upon succession, so I don't really know. Now go to Telemark. Telemark. It is going to go to our son, our heir. Could build something here. Palisades, garrisons, levies, levies. I have been focusing a lot on building up our levies, and I think that is really important this early in the game. Much more important than money, because we can always raid and ransom people for money, but there's only so much, there's only so many ways we could get more men. It's much harder to get more men than it is to go out and raid and get some cash. A lot of pop-ups, low county control. You can demand payment from Jarl Scully. That's my son. No. We don't have enough champions. That is something we could fix. We don't have very many champions. I think because we've forbidden our children mostly from doing it. And we are losing sons. We're down to 3 sons, so I would really rather keep you alive mostly. My guest has a 2. No, why don't we spend some prestige? In fact, let's look at our options here. Why don't we invite some champions? This is prestige for more champions, so we'll do that. 3 able-bodied men with 12 or more prowess, and we have a lot of gold, so we'll be able to recruit them. We also have a lot of prestige at the moment, so that's fine. And what happens if you hold a feast? You lose stress. We are stressed out. How much stress? We would drop down a level. It would also make our vassals like us more. Currently, our vassals are all our children who already love us a lot, so I don't think that's a big deal. Hunting. Lose 42 strength or stress. Go on a hunt. May get opportunities to increase prestige. Yeah, let's do that one. 67 gold. Why not? Lose a little bit of stress, which is really important. And, yeah, I would rather do that because I don't need to improve my vassals, and this gives us a chance to raise some prestige. Family members can get married. My son and spy master, Jarl Otter. How have you not been married, son? See if we can find you a suitable person who might join us in an alliance. He's not our heir, so we don't care if his wife likes him or not. So we could, like, marry into Novgorod or something. East Francia. I mean, there's just so few Norse nations left. I really don't want to ally Sweden. You have a lot of children, though. We could marry off and just ally with Sweden. It would make us the powerhouse in the region, but it would make it difficult for us to go to war with them in the future. I think me and my dreams of going to war with Sweden might be far-fetched. I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon. I think maybe we should ally with Sweden. I don't want to. I don't want to be friends with you, Sweden. You're the worst. How about Shaland? Looks like you took a chunk out of Jylland. Were you like that a minute ago? You are allied with Bergslagen, Ulster. You're at war with Moray and Småland. Of the chiefdom of Judong. I don't know. You're strong-ish. You have some children. Your sister is the Queen of Sweden. How are you not... I guess your sister doesn't count for an alliance? Because you're allied to Bergslagen, but not to Sweden? Interesting. You have some children, they're a bit young. We could marry our son. How old are you? 7. How old is our son? Probably too old. By the time she comes of age and they start having children, he'll be like 40, like 40, and she'll be childbearing years. We would prefer someone older for her. We do have some daughters as well that you know are not married to anyone. There's slim pickings out here. It seems like nobody has any kids, and when they do, it doesn't line up right, and nobody's of the right faith and religion to really, you know, work with us here. Defending of Skara. Where is Skara? I am confused. How are you at war with your vassal? Against the tyranny of Chieftain Bjorn, or Asbjorn. So basically this vassal has said, you know what, you're a tyrant, I want the whole thing. So they're at war with each other, and the main guy is winning. You're not weak. but you're not strong enough either, and you have no allies. I really don't want to have to siege down two separate chunks of you. You have 1,300 men, so if I leave half of my men at home, we would be right on the cusp of possibly losing some unfavorable battles. Let's let this shake out a little bit, see how their men do, and we're going to let our men... Wow, our cap went down. I thought we had like 4,000 men. We gave land away, so that had an impact, of course. That's going to be one of the big things. Do I also control Vestfold? My lord, a heart. My wife, Ursa, gestures for me to join in the chase. As soon as we are hidden in the taiga, she turns around and tugs my shirt over my head. Finally, some time alone, my sweetness. Oh, it's so cute that I'm 60 and she's 55 and we're like sneaking off to make out, basically. That's really cute. We gained fresh air and exercise. Well, that's one way of describing it. And she likes me more. Or we gain prestige and stewardship and prowess, focusing on the heart. I don't even know what a heart is. What is it? H-A-R-T. I have no idea what that is. Fresh air and exercise. Did that give me a health boost? Huge boost to our health. So that will increase the length of time we live. At least for the next 5 years, we're way less likely to get injuries and things. Prestige isn't that important. And focused attention, yeah, stewardship is good, but like prowess is worthless because we're craven, and we already have pretty good stewardship. And the main thing we want stewardship for is taxes and holdings. We don't have any holdings, and our taxes are already boosted. Just give me the health boost. That's sweet though. 55 and 60-year-olds still in love. She is my soulmate, if I recall. Are we soulmates, dear? Love and soulmate. Isn't that sweet? I wish I wasn't so alone. So we'll check Vestland. It is not under our control. This guy is a nobody. We could just take this from him. Remember, we appointed him, but I'm not even a huge fan. How's our council doing? Everybody working? Everybody working hard? You're disrupting schemes. Hello, my son. You are increasing county control in Gualdela, which is under my son's control. Yeah, we've handed everything away. Who are you? Who is this dude? I didn't assign you here. Illustrious. Oh, something fell. Something crinkly fell off my desk. Well, I don't know who that is. But anyway, I think we're going to call the episode. So we did go to war again. We're going to look to gobble up more of Jamtland once our truce expires. 903. So next year, we could go to war again and gobble up more of Jamtland. These are not allied with Sweden. They're allied with Halogaland up here. We could go to war with Argetel. They're pretty weak, and they're pretty big, so we could get a big chunk of land there. I would like to box out Sweden, but based on the AI we've been seeing, it's obvious that they'll go to war really far away, so I don't even know if our geographical borders actually matter. And it's just kind of bonkers to me that, like, Norse people in 900 AD would get on boats, sail all the way around past Hispania, past Europe, come up into Italy. It's just crazy to me. I don't know if that actually happened or not. It's just so, like, preposterously far for such a low-tech and like, oh, and there's going to be someone in the comments who is like, yeah, well, you know, like Hawaiians would go on for months with, and it's like, yeah, okay, you know, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, like, would you really engage in a foot war? Like, you get on ships, travel all the way down here, do war on the ground, and then try to rule this land from Sweden? That's just insane to me. How would you ever communicate with them? How would you ever... Their men are never going to be able to help you. You're never going to be able to help them. It puts you in this huge point of weakness. Why haven't they done something about this? That too, it's worth noting, I'm playing this. It's probably been out for, I don't know, a month now. Crusader Kings 3 came out September 1st. It's like September 20th. I don't know what the date is, but it's been weeks, and the only update that's come to the game was a multiplayer update, and I was really surprised by that. Usually, like on day one of a game, like the first few days, they're getting constant tweaks and updates and hot fixes and stuff like that. There's only been one update to this game that I saw. There's been no patch notes. There's been nothing like that. It was just, hey, multiplayer was kind of broken. We're going to try to fix that. So I feel like I feel like there should have been updates by now. Most other games shortly after release get pretty updated. So I was really surprised that this one has not. Especially because like EU4 has been out for a while. I keep getting pop-ups on Steam saying that EU4 has been updated. And I don't it's wouldn't you focus on like your main title more than, well, I don't know. But anyway, we're over time. Everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. I'll be back, of course, with more Crusader Kings 3 in the near future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.